When you start with music, you have your semibreves, minims, crotchets and quavers, or whole notes, half notes, quarter notes and eighth notes. Now, they're your kind of, the stuff that you get going on, but as you start to move slightly further into music, you'll start to see something called semiquavers or 16th notes. So I just want to talk about how they all tie in and what they look like. Okay, so how do we figure our way down into the depths of the semiquaver? Well, if we go up to our kind of top level note, if that's what you want to call it, the semibreve, and if we half that, it becomes a minim, right? If we then take a minim and we half that, it becomes a crotchet. If we take a crotchet and we half that, then that becomes a quaver. And here we go, if we take a quaver and we half that, it becomes a semiquaver. And that's how they all tie in together. That's actually where the other kind of note naming system becomes really intuitive. Although we've got all these words for them like semibreve and minim and all the rest of it, if you stick to whole note, half note, quarter note, eighth note, 16th note, then it kind of makes a bit more sense mathematically, and maybe it will help you understand the structure and how they all tie in together a wee bit better. So what does a semiquaver look like? So basically, if you've seen a quaver before, say we go for a crotchet, right? So you've got your note head and your stem. If we want to have a quaver on its own, then what we do is we have the same as a crotchet, but we have like a tail on the top. Now, a semiquaver, all we do is we have two tails on the top. Now, as you've seen in the past, quavers, when you join them together, they have a stem across the top. So if you've got two quavers and you've got your stem across the top, that joins them. Now, if you do the same, as I was saying before, you have these two tails for semiquavers. It kind of works the same when you join them together. You have the stem, the beam across the top, and there would be another beam underneath that, and that would be, explaining what a semiquaver looks like. Now, as with every other note value, we have an equivalent rest value as well. Now, the quaver rest looks like a sort of very fancy number 7, I suppose. And again, because the semiquaver has two beams at the top, or two tails, then the rest is exactly the same. It looks almost the same as the quaver rest, but you've got that extra one that makes it the semiquaver rest. Just as a piece of information, if you like. Now, we know that we can take larger notes and they can be constructed with lots of smaller notes, as long as they kind of make up the rhythmical structure and the time signature that you're in, then that's fine. But just to give you a rough idea, so if we take a whole note, how many semiquavers can we get into a whole note? Well, the answer to that is there's 16, right? And if we go to the half note or the minim, how many can we get into that? Then there's 8 semiquavers in that. If we go to the crotchet or the quarter note, 4 semiquavers in there, and in the quaver and the eighth note, I've got 2 semiquavers in them. I want to go in how you can actually mix and match some of these, specifically in quarter notes or crotchets. But before I do that, if you're finding this information useful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. That would be really helpful, thanks. Okay, so if you have a crotchet or one beat, depends what time signature you're in, then you can mix and match your semiquavers and quavers to kind of add up. So you don't always have to have 4 semiquavers or 2 quavers in a crotchet. You can actually mix and match it a wee bit. So the first one you can maybe have a quaver and 2 semiquavers. Then you can flip that on its side. You could have 2 semiquavers and a quaver, and it still equals a crotchet if you like. And sometimes you'll see also a semiquaver, a quaver, and then another semiquaver, and that adds up to your crotchet. Now, from what I'm showing on the screen, you'll be able to see like how to write single semiquavers in these groups, so it shows you what it looks like, so that when you see it, you'll recognise it. Okay, that's all I've got on semiquavers. There's not a great deal to them. Hopefully you found it useful. Have a great day, and I'll see you in another video. Cheers.